No?
Christmas time is here.
You know, I sing my songs for you, Beth.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, I wish you'd put more effort into it.
Oh, I feel like that was a lot of effort.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah, that's Gremlin style. Hello, and welcome back to the Yesteryear podcast. My name is James. I'm joined by my dormouse of a co-host, Beth.
Where do you get these from?
You know what?
That's
They pop up in my head. Dormouse. It made me think of Alice in Wonderland. We need to do that.
I don't want to watch that.
Beth, it's Sunday Fun Day. What is up with you?
Oh, well, today I woke up and I got toast and I brushed my teeth.
Oh, you stop that. I don't want to hear that. You can't do that. So how's the old piggy bank looking these days?
Oh, not good.
No?
No, I've dropped quite a lot of money. We talked about this last episode.
Yeah.
Dropped quite a lot of money. Gonna drop some more.
So you're not saving your money so you can get me sweet presents? Perhaps a PS5? I've been a good boy this year.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Then have you saved up your money? Have you gotten me sweet presents? Perhaps a sweet PS5?
Not a PS5, but I got you other stuff. So.
Well, if it's not a PS5, return it.
Oh, man.
No, I'm kidding. Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Man, I don't want anything for Christmas. I like my little leg lamp that you got me. That thing's good enough for me. So.
Well, I try hard with what I have.
I enjoy giving gifts more than I enjoy getting.
I hate receiving things.
And I feel, the whole Christmas one day thing, I'm more of a give throughout the year type deal.
I am too. I never give you things on the day.
Yeah.
Father's Day, your birthday, Christmas, I always give you stuff early.
I like giving you stuff. And I think that's like with your mom and stuff like that, like to try and remember. I mean, like it would be almost impossible for me to save every stinking book. One, I'd have to figure it out. Two, she would see it on Amazon. And three, there would be no way she would wait. She'd just go ahead and get the dang book, and then I'd have to return all these stupid books throughout the year. Was this a gift? It was. It's not anymore.
It makes me feel really guilty receiving gifts. Like I don't deserve them, or it's like I can't get you something in return, so now I feel bad that you got me something. And I hate that.
And I never want people to feel like that. I enjoy the give.
But then you give, and then you make other people feel like that.
I make you feel like you should get me something?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
Well, you dropped all that money on the radio, the car.
But that was the whole point of it. I wanted to do that.
And now I feel bad.
You
I
shouldn't.
should buy you a PS5.
I don't want... Well...
Yeah.
It'd be for the family. It's for the house. It's a house gift.
When would you have time to play that?
I wouldn't, man.
You would not.
It's just like if I mean, that's why I gave you my PS4 when I did.
Yeah, now I'm locked out of it.
You really keep saying that, and I really don't keep helping you with it. And I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I keep on. I'm like, oh, I'll watch Hulu on it. Oh, wait.
You can't. And what? Can't. Yeah, we don't need to get into what it says, but we'll fix it. I will say though that as a kid, it was always cool getting the video game systems that were coming out that year when my parents would do that, or the hot new games that were released. Like,
yeah, I got lucky. You asked me and Tabby if we'd rather get an iPad or a Nintendo 3DS, and we said Nintendo 3DS. And then the year after, we got iPads.
Yeah, well, that's how I work.
Yeah.
The
DSs. We play the heck out of those DSs though.
Yeah.
Continuously.
Yeah, my parents always did such a great job finding out what I wanted and getting it for me for the most part when I did. I mean, up until a certain age. I mean, when I was 15, they got me a scooter and they put it on the back porch. Because, at 15, you're legally allowed to ride a scooter on the main road.
Huh.
So they waited till I fell asleep and they brought it in the house and put it on the back porch and they opened up all the gifts and everything like that. And they're like, hey, why don't we let some light in? They opened the blinds, and there it was on the back porch. It was kind of like...
I always liked when you guys did surprising things like that. When you got me the lizard, and you're like, what is it? You called my name all angrily from upstairs, and I ran upstairs real fast, and then suddenly there was a lizard in my room.
I got a video of that. And then it hit puberty, and that lizard hated everybody.
It hated everybody. It was so mean.
Yeah, that really was sad.
I was scared. I thought it was dying every night. But no, it was just angry.
Yep.
I thought you guys were angry because you found the apple under my pillow.
I was angry about that too.
Yeah.
So, let me tell you though, riding a scooter in the wind, not fun. Not fun.
Really?
It blows you all over the place. And when the water is blowing, the wind is blowing off the bay, off like Tampa Bay, and it like comes across. It's called. See, in Florida, they don't have cold; they have wind chill factor. The wind chill factor, it's 80 degrees outside, but with the wind chill factor, it's 40. And that's no joke. That's really how it is.
Do you think I should bring a hoodie? Yeah,
I would take. I don't think coming from here.
I'll be more comfortable in a hoodie.
Yeah. So, and you think hydroplaning in the Xterra is rough?
I don't plan on driving.
Try it on a scooter sometime, just so you know.
I had that Razor scooter.
Yeah.
I love that thing. I love the hell out of that.
You're right, but a riding scooter.
Well, I know, I'm just saying I want to talk about scooters and talk about the Razor scooter. That was probably one of the better presents you guys ever got us.
I always tried to hook you up. That's why when you say that you didn't get any, it always makes me sad, because for so many years we got you guys way more. You would ask for like 3 things. We would get you like 50, and like all the little things you guys would get. And
it was always really cool.
Anyway.
And then it stopped.
To the movie. That's because you guys got old.
Right? No, that's not fair. Because it stopped right at the prime moment where it mattered the most, where I was in a school with a bunch of these little rich kids who were all like, "Oh, what did you get for Christmas?" And I had to sit there with blank face and say, "I didn't get anything this year."
I just can't remember.
And it was hurtful.
You had everything.
It was embarrassing.
So.
You know what I would have liked? Socks. Oh my gosh. Socks. I love socks.
I know.
Socks and then little fuzzy socks or frogs. Or I was, at the time, turtles, I guess. I really like turtles.
Yeah.
The little miniature things. It's so easy to please me. But instead I had to go to school and tell all my friends I didn't get anything. And then they just pity you. And it's so awful. That was terrible. And so for many years. And then you become grudge-like. And you're like, "Oh, I don't like Christmas." And everyone's like, "Why do you not like Christmas?" And I'm like, "I'm going to talk about it. Because if I say I don't get anything for Christmas, you're just going to pity me again."
So you're like, Kate.
It just hurt.
I'm sorry. That's sad. What do you get the kid who has everything? Socks, I guess.
Has everything.
Yeah.
Still needs socks.
So, this week we're doing Gremlins.
Pants, new work pants, money.
Money and Gremlins. I mean, money and work pants. This is another Christmas movie. I've had many debate as to if this is a Christmas movie or not, and I say that it is. Case in point, Gizmo is a Christmas gift. Everyone is getting Christmas trees. It's Christmas. Kate tells her story about hating Christmas time. All Christmas things. So I say Christmas movie, but to each their own. You know, whatever. Now, do you think this is a Christmas movie, or do you think it's an un-Christmas movie?
I think it's December.
Huh.
I think it snows, and there's Santa hats, and that's pretty Christmassy to me.
Okay. I cannot say that I went to the movies to see this movie when it came out, but I do remember watching it as a kid. So mostly it's one that I caught on HBO or something. Like I said, I mean, I remember it. There was a really cool toy that it was like mushy. You know those dinosaurs that you put in water, like those like little pills, and you put them in like a little sponge dinosaur.
Yes, and they grow. Comes out. I love those.
So there was this like gelatinous Gizmo, and when you put the Gizmo into water, he turned into a gremlin.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep.
We were at the Dollar General actually because we were bored. I was just with Kara while everyone else was at band practice, and we were going through, and because we were trying to find Hayden a birthday present, and it was like this toy aisle, but they had like this giant. Like, it was already big, okay? And it was a stingray. And it was like, put this in water and it'll grow. And, dude, I almost bought it. I was like 2 steps away. I was like, oh, I don't need this. It's going to feel all weird and moistened.
Gremlin's changeable. It was, you would put it in, well, anyway, you put the stupid thing in water and it would turn into a gremlin. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. So.
I think it's cute.
You think Gizmo is cute?
Mm-hmm. I didn't think the other ones were cute.
But
I like that when they cuddled him and he was all...
So, what was your initial impression of what this movie was going to be like?
Good.
Really? Because, see, I did not think that you were going to be loving this one.
I was excited about it.
At first. I was like, oh no, she might have too much hype on this movie, and then she's going to be like, oh.
No one talked to me about this movie.
So you say you were excited about it? Did you watch the trailer? What do you give the trailer?
I give the trailer a 3 out of 5. It didn't really, it didn't show what the Gremlins looked like.
No.
Which was really cool to me. It makes you want to go watch it. But it wasn't really, like, super interesting. So, still 3 out of 5.
Yeah. And what was cool was, you saw how it had the Christmas box and it had, like, his little hand coming out of it. Mm-hmm. So, there were some posters that the hand was green coming the other way. Like, it was just 2 little claws, like it was a gremlin, and it had little glowing eyes in it. So it depended on which poster it was that you were looking at, because they were trying to they kept it under wraps. Yeah. You didn't know until that scene when you finally see him. You don't know. So,
it's really cute.
Very cool. So Gremlins was released June 8th, 1984, and is a comedy fantasy horror movie. The movie is about a boy who inadvertently breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet, which unleashes a horde of malevolently mischievous monsters on a small town. The movie is written by Chris Columbus and directed by Joe Dante. This film did huge at the box office. It had a budget of $11 million, and it grossed almost $213 million at the box office.
Oh gosh! Wow.
Of course, Steven Spielberg had a hand in the film as the executive producer, so I'm sure that made a difference as well. I mean, as we discussed before, the guy has brought us movies such as Ready Player One, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park, and Schindler's List. That's a really broad list, I think, from across the decades. I thought you would like that.
I watched that movie for the first time last year.
Yeah.
For a school extra credit for history.
Yeah.
Only reason I passed the class. And, yeah, you and a bunch of your friends go see that movie. Tell me how that goes.
No, it's just depression all over again.
Yep.
So it's no wonder why the film did well. The main players in the film are Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates, although you do see a young Corey Feldman in there as well.
I was like, Frog? Question mark?
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
There are others, but I'm not going to really go into them. It's nobody that we're going to know. I guess we can throw a shout out to Howie Mandel, though, who provides the voice of Gizmo.
Really?
Yep.
No way.
Yep. He did little voices like that for everything. Like, he did a cartoon called Bobby's World for a while. He did this.
Oh, I love that show.
Bobby. And that's how it talked and everything like that. Mm. And yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, I didn't think you did. But I appreciate that you said you loved him. When you said that at first, I was about to be like, really? And then I was like, there's absolutely positively no way, James, that she knows that show. Don't fall for her garbage.
Oh, no.
The movie was received well and got great reviews, although there was some complaints about the violence of the Gremlins.
What?
But if they weren't violent...
They were funny. They weren't even that bad. It was all accident prone, dude.
Right. And what would be the point if they weren't, though? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were funny and they were jackasses. And yeah, they had some violence, like when he like jumped out and he like scratched him and stuff like that. But in the most part, they were just jerks. What?
He swore.
I said jackasses.
We're allowed to say that?
Well, jackass. That's a mule. I didn't say a-hole or something like that. I said jackasses. Anyway.
You're going to give me length and I'm going to run with it.
I will give you no rope. You were on 0 rope. I don't even like when you insinuate. So, all right, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're looking forward to this one. So, the movie immediately starts up with a man doing a voiceover. His name is Rand Peltzer, and he is in Chinatown looking to buy and sell merchandise.
I thought this was I'm not going to lie. I had loaded up the movie, and I thought this was going to be like previews, to the movies. I was just like skipping through this bit because I was like, what is this? Because it didn't look anything like I would thought the movie was going to be like. And then the movie started playing, and I was like, oh no. I was like, I guess I gotta go back. Because I was like, oh, this is some kind of Big Apple, Little China crap.
Yeah. Keep it clean. PG.
You're not gonna correct me? It's a Big Apple, Little China.
I heard you, but at this point in time...
You get so angry.
Yeah, I just roll with it at this point in time.
It's the old age.
So this kid takes him to the store that has all kinds of strange stuff. He does try to sell them the bathroom buddy, but the guy has zero interest. He's let me tell you about the bathroom buddy. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm not going to get into it. My friend growing up had a dad who was an inventor and he looked eerily similar to this guy. And I was like, man, is your dad in this movie?
That made me mad because like he had all these inventions that didn't work and kept making new things. Like, work on the ones that don't work.
Thank you. Right? So, the bathroom buddy malfunctions, but he does give him his card. He finds a Mogwai as it is talking and singing and wants to buy it, but the shop owner says it's not for sale. He says it has too much responsibility.
Peter Parkered it.
Yeah. Nice. However, the kid ends up snagging the Mogwai and meeting Rand in the alleyway. The kid does tell him the rules. Easy rules, in my opinion. No bright light, don't get him wet, and don't feed him after midnight. Now, I don't really want to get into the whole after midnight argument, because technically aren't we always after midnight?
Yeah,
like what's before midnight versus after midnight? But whatever. It's movie magic, so we're just going to go with it.
That would make me think that you could only ever feed him at like 11:59.
Or never feed him. I mean, because literally it's always, you're always after some time. But we then hear Rockin' Ricky Rialto starting some Christmas music and opening on a small town that is all snowy. We get the credits, and we get introduced to the characters. I like that the kid Pete is in a tree outfit, the one that Corey Feldman plays. Mm-hmm. I love that little tree outfit. I wished I would have had one, because to me, it was just cool, man.
And you look so much like a tree. You just blend right in.
He really, yeah, I could just go be a tree. Yeah. We then find a guy named Billy having issues starting his crappy car. He talks with his neighbor, Mr. Futterman, who says it has to do with the fact that it's a foreign car. Mr. Futterman talks about Billy's comic strip and that he is, is he working on it, and he's looking forward to seeing it in the newspaper, but he's like, bro, we don't even make those comics anymore. And the guy's like, oh, okay. Billy and his dog run through town saying hi to people and heading to Billy's job at the bank. He takes the dog in with him, which, I mean, no.
Yeah.
But whatever, I guess this is Eddie's small town.
Yeah, nobody says anything about it either at first. So
nobody
says.
I'm like, oh, maybe.
There's the thing under the desk too, so it's like obviously it's happened before.
Right. It's already, right. That's how I feel. Like, this is a natural thing. This happens, occurrence. So, okay. We're introduced to Kate, who has a petition to declare a bar a national landmark because Mrs. Deagle is trying to have it shut down. We are then introduced to Mrs. Deagle, who is not a nice lady at all. I mean, she basically tells a mom that she and her kids are deadbeats. It's like, do you think, we're just got new jobs, so it's going to be a look. Do you think you can help us out? And she's all, no.
Now you know what to ask for Christmas. Right?
And the kid's all, I'm hungry. And mom's all, me too. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It's Christmas, Miss Deagle.
It's Christmas.
Christmas time is here. Stop. So Miss Deagle brings the snowman head in and slams it on Billy's counter and says that his dog broke it. He offers to pay for it, but she wants the dog so she can have it put to sleep. Wow.
Yeah, that's tough.
While she is telling Billy this horrible thing that she wants to do to the dog, Barney gets loose and jumps on Mrs. Deagle. The bank president and manager named Gerald come to her aid and basically coddle her, even though she's faking it. Like, you can completely see she's not really having any issues.
No.
And she's like, oh, my heart, no. But she has all the money. So, that's what you're going to do. Later at the bar, Gerald comes and tells Billy that he was almost fired today, but that the bank president gave him a second chance due to the season.
Isn't that the guy from Ghostbusters? Is it not the lawyer dude?
No.
No?
No.
Who is that from? Where is he from then? He looked super familiar.
Well, that's Judge Reinhold. Is his real name.
Oh.
And
what a terrible name.
You don't like the Santa Claus movies, but he's in the Santa Claus movies. He's in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I don't think that you've seen.
The Santa Claus.
He's in Beverly Hills Cop. He's in Gremlins.
Oh, does he play this dude?
No, he's just in it. He's like the stepdad. He's like the new husband.
But maybe that's where. Oh, maybe it's Beethoven's fourth. Sorry. No. I don't know. He just looks really familiar. I swear it was something else. Or maybe he's got the same face syndrome. He looks like somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots. So Kate comes over and takes drinks orders for Gerald and Billy and says she is helping out working there at the bar. So she's really invested into this bar for whatever reason. So Billy comes home and we are introduced to his mom. Did you notice the mom? Did you recognize her at all? His mom?
No.
That's the mom from Footloose. That was the same lady.
Who was the same lady in the Peg?
No, not Vi. She's Ren's mom in Footloose.
Oh, I don't know what that looks like. I can't even remember the face.
Well, she looks the exact same. I think they came out
I just can't even remember her face.
Okay, that's fair. So anyway, she is prepping dinner and Billy helps her out. They try to use one of the inventions that the dad made, but it's crap. Spoiler alert. They're all crap.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
Billy can see that something is bothering his mom. That was a
cute little egg. It was cute, though.
It's cute, but it doesn't work. She even goes, she's like, oh, everything works, great for a couple weeks and then goes to garbage. And it's like, well, then maybe he needs to work on them.
Yeah.
And figure out what goes to garbage.
Have you ever watched Meet the Robinsons?
Yes. I like that movie.
I love that movie.
I like that movie a lot.
It's a good feel-good movie.
It is, and I like that he's able to go back and fix the guy and, make life better for him.
I agree. I don't know why, yeah.
So, Billy can see that something is bothering his mom, and it has to do with Mrs. Deagle, but the dad comes home and interrupts the conversation. He presents a gift to Billy, and you can hear the Mogwai inside making noise, like singing and talking. So they turn the lights down and Billy opens it and we see the Mogwai, which is really cute. The dad says he calls him Gizmo, so that's what we're going to call him from now on.
Yeah.
The mom takes a picture and the flash hurts Gizmo. Rule number 1. It's right there, yeah. When soon as she pulled out the camera, the dad should have been like, oh, no. So the dad also gives the rules for taking care of him. So Billy is playing a keyboard and Gizmo can sing the notes back. Barney the dog looks curious, but also looks to have a feeling of being replaced.
Yeah, right? Poor dog.
Billy once again causes a bright light to hit Gizmo in the face with the mirror.
That was an accident, though. You can't blame him.
Yeah, I can. Clearly, Billy can't get it together with the rules. I don't care. You should not even have lights on around this little guy. Light bothers him.
Dim light. You're going to have it pitch black all the time?
No, you're going to have like Christmas lighting light. So that way you have light, but you don't have...
You can still flash them with that. I mean, my LEDs, if I hit it with the mirror one way, it's going to be the same effect.
Okay.
That's not fair.
Well, he takes him into the bathroom and bandages him up since he bonked his head.
This was bad because the bathroom has water all over it, so...
Yeah, you shouldn't have him anywhere near
You shouldn't have him near them. But I did feel bad that he had hurt himself. I was all like, oh, poor Gizmo.
The next morning, Billy tries to use his father's juice machine, and you guessed it, it sucks.
Oh, gosh. It was crazy. He took one orange and produced like 7 orange worth of juice.
Yeah. It just sprays juice all over the kitchen, making a huge mess.
Yeah, you know who's cleaning that up? Not me.
The mom.
The dad. The dad's going to clean it up.
He should.
Your invention. Yeah, but it's going to be the mom who cleans it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Pete brings the Christmas tree by for them and sees the mess. They talk about it, and then Billy shows Pete Gizmo. Gizmo was busy watching a movie where there are race cars when he is interrupted, and that's kind of important for later. Pete really likes Gizmo, of course, and plays around with him. Billy sits him on the table to see if he will sing, and Pete accidentally spills water on him trying to pick him up. So once again, rules mean nothing to Billy. I don't like him. I don't. We see little puffballs pop off Gizmo, and they turn into Mogwai just like Gizmo. There are 5 of them total, or 6 if you count Gizmo. The first one born has a stripe on his head, but seemed to be a bit more mean. So, Gizmo is also all depressed face at the fact they are there. Like, his face is just sad. He looks sad.
Well, now he's a parent.
And there is that. Rand is working on a car dealer that, of course, doesn't work. and Billy comes to tell him about what happened with the gizmo. Of course, the dad has to tell him about his new and improved bathroom buddy that doesn't work real great. His dad thinks that this could be a money-making opportunity where this could be the Peltzer pet, replacing the dog as the family pet. So it's like
all he cares about is money.
There has to be a reason why there's a rule not to get them wet. Okay? And it's not just because they multiply. There's got to be something else. Smarten up people, but whatever. So they sleep that night, but the new ones are mischievous. Somehow they tie Barney up in the Christmas lights outside. The dog's just hanging there. I was like, oh my gosh. Billy thinks Mrs. Deagle did it, but the dad says he closed and locked the door and there were no footprints leading up to the house. I'm also kind of like, you think this little old lady came out in the middle of the damn snow? You know?
I mean, she threatened all that stuff with the dog. Who else are you going to blame? The aliens? I guess.
Right. You're not going to think it's right. You're going to think
the babies.
True.
Like the size of my foot, bro.
So
they're going to lift the whole dog.
So they also have issues with the coffee maker. That sucks.
Oh, it's like producing like
sludge.
Yeah. Syrup.
Ew. Yeah, they just kind of laugh it off. It's like, yeah, you can drink this.
she's like, ha ha ha! I married a failure. Oh.
Ouch. Oh, we're getting kicked out of our house by Mrs. Deagle. Oh, it's funny.
Scrooge.
So, Billy takes one of the new Mugwais to the science teacher at the school and shows him what happens when you get it wet. So let's just smack the rules right in the face.
Yeah, okay. I don't agree with this one.
So now there's another one.
But I don't think the other times were his fault necessarily.
Okay.
The camera, not his fault. Dad's fault.
Fine.
Okay. And then the one with the water, also not really his fault. I don't think that he should have had the water, but it's not like he was like, yeah, this makes sense that's going to happen. I mean, if he's just picking up... I mean, Gizmo was sleeping on the bed, bro.
Yeah.
And it almost seemed like Gizmo was like trying to help out with the rules and was like, I don't want to eat.
Right.
Later on. So
yeah.
I don't really blame him. But this time, I blame him.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a slap in the face of the rules.
Yeah. So now there's another one. He lets the teacher keep one for testing purposes.
It is interesting to me that they don't seem like they all have the same personality.
I talked
like
about
they seem like these two seem really sad and like wanted they wanted to be together.
Yeah, they're like knocking on the box.
Yeah, it was sad, but then it seemed like then like earlier with the 5 that did hatch, there was like one that was like really sad looking.
Yeah. So that night, Billy sees that Mr. Futterman is getting drunk in the bar, and Kate is trying to get him to leave. Billy helps out getting him out of the bar, but Mr. Futterman goes on about how foreign cars have gremlins in them. He says it's what brought a lot of the planes down in World War II as well. So they convince him to walk home instead of driving due to being so drunk. Billy walks Kate home, and they are talking, listening to carolers. Kate talks about how some people get really depressed around the holidays and how she doesn't celebrate Christmas. Billy asks her why, and she gets seriously defensive. And there's more to come on that later in the movie.
Yeah, and,
she talks about some people are opening up their presents while other people are opening up their wrists. I'm like, what am I watching?
Oh my gosh.
Is this a kids movie?
She was going through it, man.
She really was.
Her story is really sad. I mean, that's a way to just really ruin it forever.
Yeah. So they make it to her house, and Billy asks her out on a date, and she accepts. Meanwhile, the teacher at the school is drawing blood from the Mogwai, which he does not appreciate.
No, I wouldn't appreciate that either.
No. That night, Billy screws up again and feeds the Mogwai after midnight because they sabotaged his clock.
That's not his fault.
Why would you even feed them close to night? Why would it's after dark? I'm not feeding you. No, I don't care how rabble rousel you looked in the box.
But he didn't know it was, and they got happier after they ate.
Yep. Yeah.
So I mean, he thought it was 11. He fed him. I mean, it's not his fault. It's not like he looked at the time and was like, "Wow, 12 o'clock. What's the worst that could happen?"
Yeah.
So.
Well, the one at the school
really hateful in this character.
Yes. Also eats some of the teacher's sandwich that he leaves out too close to the cage, which also irresponsible. Did he even bother to tell the teacher the rules?
No, I don't think he did.
I don't think he did either. No, I think he just dropped him off. Can I keep this one? Sure. Bye. Billy falls asleep watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and the next morning the Mogwais are now in cocoons. And I did like that as well, like you said, that when he was trying to offer Gizmo food, Gizmo was like, no. Nope. So the mom is going over it with the rules to Billy, and he's like, no, I followed the rules. But then he finds the clock has been sabotaged. The one at the school is also in a cocoon. We see because Billy and Pete are there with the teacher. Rand is at an inventors convention. Now, I will give you this inventors convention is hilarious to me.
It is really fun.
And it's feeling a bit out of his league. He's like, yeah, there's some really good inventors here. Now, did you notice in the background there was a guy in a time machine? And then when they go back to the scene, he's disappeared. Did you happen to catch that? You have to be paying attention. So
I saw the guy rolling around, like, watching TV while his leg was broken or whatever up in the castle, being able to move around. I didn't see a time machine.
Yeah, there's a guy sitting in what looks like the classic time machine, and a lady and a man are standing there, and it flashes away to the scene. And then when we come back to the dad talking on the phone, the machine is gone and there's just smoke, and they're just sitting there just like waving the smoke and stuff like that. I was like, it's really, he's like, yeah, they're really good. Yeah, you bet they are, man. This guy invented a time machine.
Yeah, all he has is the bathroom box on a
bathroom
go.
buddy. Whoa.
Bathroom buddy, yeah.
So, at the bank, Miss Deagle comes in and pushes past everyone to get a deposit done. She once again threatens Barney, who is currently out of town with Grandma. It's because the dad takes him to Grandma's. That day, the cocoons start to hatch, and they are little green monster-looking things, which are gremlins. The teacher, Mr. Henson, rushes everyone out so that he can get to inspecting the hatched creature. He calls Billy to tell him that he's like, they hatched. And Billy rushes over. Mr. Henson goes back into the classroom to find the gremlin, and when he tries to coax it out from under the desk, it attacks him. Apparently, he still remembers the little blood test that he did on him, I would say.
I would remember, too.
Billy makes it to the school and looks for Mr. Henson and finds him dead under the desk with a needle in his butt. I was like, oh, he definitely remembered this guy. Billy gets scratched by the gremlin when he reaches for the phone. He then sees the gremlin go into the vent. Billy goes to the nurse's office to get something for the scratch, and the gremlin comes out of the cabinet throwing stuff at him and then goes through the door. Now, you know, a funny thing about this is I assume that gremlin meets up with the other gremlins, but we never really get a full what happened to that gremlin. You know? Like, I just assume that he goes out and does havoc, and then he meets up with them later, like the rest of them do.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe he went and vibed.
So, at the house, the other gremlins are throwing darts at poor Gizmo.
Oh, so sad.
The mom hears this and goes to investigate with a knife. They then throw Gizmo down the laundry chute, calling him Caca.
Yeah. I like that they were bilingual.
Yeah. The mom finds that they have hatched and the phone rings. She answers it, and it's Billy, who tells her to get out of the house, but the gremlins cut the phone cable.
She heard that, though, and she still stayed.
Right. She goes to investigate the music that started playing as Billy rushes home. She stops the music and keeps looking around, and something throws a glass at her. She goes into the kitchen and finds the gremlins are there. This is where she turns bad behind.
That's what I said. I said the mom kind of, bad behind it. She was really cool all of a sudden. She was killing it. Absolutely killing it at this part. Like,
literally, if Striped Gremlin had not done what he did with finding water, you literally only had Stripe and the one that was at the school to find and to kill.
Right, because the mom had taken care of it.
Mama Bear takes care of everything. She starts off killing these things one by one instead of running. She first kills one in the blender and then just murks one out Jason style with a knife, stabbing it out proper. Another one throws a pan at her, so she sprays it with bug spray and then locks it in the microwave until it explodes nastily, which was gross.
We're just gonna have to get a new house after this.
Yeah, we don't live here anymore.
No.
She hears something in the living room and investigates with 2 more knives. She first thinks one is in a stocking, but it's just a toy. The gremlin is in the tree and attacks her. She puts up a good fight, but starts to choke her out. Billy comes in just in time and cuts its head off with a sword. So he does take one out. So that's 4 down. 4 out of 6. Mm-hmm. Which, okay, you're kind of cleaning up your own mess. Good job by you. Unfortunately, the stripe-headed one escapes out the window after blowing its nose on their curtains. I don't know if you noticed that it did that. I saw, yeah. Billy takes his mom to the doctor's house to get checked out while he goes to search for more gremlins. He finds Gizmo in the laundry and puts him in his backpack, exposing him to bright light again, of course. A lot
just happened, okay? The rules aren't going to be what's fresh on my mind. I'm just thinking about getting him out of there, okay?
Look, if I'm Gizmo, I'm done with you. Well,
I don't know.
Rand is trying to call home, but is getting no answer. Billy tracks the striped-headed gremlin to the YMCA, where after attacking him, it jumps into the pool, multiplying itself exponentially. I mean, this is bad news. You're bad. In a
because not only are you multiplying, but the things you're doing are multiplying too. And so,
right. Where does it end?
Right. Why would you ever leave the pool?
Right. I like the growling noises they make. Like, I like that. I don't know. No. Billy goes to the cops to tell them what is going on, and they basically treat him like he is crazy. He even shows them Gizmo to try and convince them, but it's no help. That would have really helped with me if I was like, look, this is going on, and I pulled out this little Mogwai thing, and that thing is alive. I'd have been like, okay, well, you done messed up, but we'll get something going with this. We get a little sweet claymation scene of the gremlins walking, heading out of to cause havoc on the town.
I did like that.
Yeah, they're like jumping over each other and everything like that as they're walking. The Futtermans are the first one to get attacked, where the gremlins mess with his TV. He goes to check the antenna and is attacked by gremlins in his tractor, or his snowplow. They say snowplow, but it's a tractor that basically busts right into his house. He's kind of excited that there's actually a gremlin in the cab of his snowplow, but his wife is too busy yelling at him to notice. Because he's like, look, there it is, right there. And she's like, Mary! We then see the gremlins are starting to cause havoc on the town by messing with people trying to mail letters, or messing with the traffic lights. The police are still playing with Gizmo when they get a call about what happened at the Futterman's house. Then a great part happens with old Miss Deagle. Like, they show up and they're like, Deagle. She's coming down the stairs on her chair and hears carolers outside when she's talking to all her cats, which are all named after some kind of money.
Funny. I thought it was so funny that she had so many cats.
Yeah. Yeah, but all their names were some kind of money. And like dollar bill and everything. I was like, wow, you're really like that. And she's sick-faced about the fact that she's got carolers on her porch.
Of course.
So she goes to water on them, and it's gremlins. She's freaked out and runs back inside her house. A gremlin has messed with her stair chair, and she's freaking out. She's like, I'm not ready. They've coming for me. I don't want to. And when she sits down to go back up the stairs, it basically rocket propels her out, and she flies out the window dying. So
and the cops are there, and they really just don't do anything. Like, the cops, they're like, well,
they did nothing. The cops see all of this, and then they see Dave Morris with gremlins all over him, which to me was really funny because I like that he comes up to the car, and like the gremlins are like looking in the window and talking to them.
Yeah,
and they just roll the window.
They just roll it up. I mean, what the
heck? So, Pete is also getting attacked, but he's fighting them off, like shooting them with his slingshot, and he's cutting the wires above their head and everything like that. The cops are driving, freaking out, and end up in a car accident from where the gremlins cut their brakes. Billy gets in his car, and it starts, and we hear Pete call into the radio about the gremlins, and we hear gremlins attacking Rocky Ricky on the radio. Now, what's funny about that is that even though it's not him that called, do you remember in Goonies when Chunk calls the police and he says, "You're not going to tell me that there's little green monsters again, are you?"
Oh, I do remember that.
So that's a reference to Gremlins. And of course, Corey Feldman is in Goonies and also in this. So it was just a little bit of a tie-in because
they should have had him called in.
That would have been cool. But he called in and he's like, "Yeah, man, there's these." And you're like, "Oh, whatever, kid, get out of here with that kind of stuff." And then he gets attacked himself. Meanwhile, Rand is still trying to get home and keeps calling to no answer. While stopping, he makes a sale to the gas station guy. He sells a smokeless ashtray, but of course it doesn't work. It's like worse.
Yeah, because he's all coughing and
the whole thing's just like smoking something serious. We then see poor Kate at the bar, and it has been overrun with gremlins.
Oh my gosh, this scene is so funny.
They're all drunk and singing, and each have personalities. Like, they are all different personalities, and I really appreciate that fact. Some had lipstick on. It's funny because she's treating them as if they're normal patrons of the bar or something.
I mean, they were like pimp gremlins, and they were playing gambling gremlins,
flasher gremlins.
Yep. Insane.
She just says, "Please don't bite me." That's all she's saying when she's serving them. They're playing cards and video games. Some are in drag because there's the one that's like
the lipstick. That's what I'm saying. I mean, what the heck?
Stripe is there, and he actually shoots another one for trying to cheat at cards because the one that's in lipstick sees it because he's pulling up an ace from below the table.
So much going on. You have like the smooth jazz gremlin.
This is one of my favorite parts because the gremlin has the little hand puppet on and starts making it talk to the depressed gremlin sitting in the corner.
Bumblebee and then
that is. Yeah. I was doing that at you the other day, and I was like, "Well, you don't know what that means yet, but you will." Yeah. But it's just funny because it's all smooth jazz, and he's just sitting there all depressed.
Yeah,
and all
the other one comes up out of nowhere.
And it makes me laugh.
It bonks him.
He just hits him on the head.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all over the place with madness. There's the one doing the 80s dancing and such like that, jumping all over the place.
Yeah, he's got the socks on. Maybe think of Footloose, the intro.
Yep. Kate is just trying to keep alive, and she sees they don't like light when she tries to light one of their cigarettes for them. She uses the flash on her camera, and they freak out, so she uses it to escape. She does get held up by a gremlin at gunpoint.
Yeah.
But the lights from Billy's car zap it, so she gets out. They make it to the car, but it won't start, so they have to make a run for it. They end up going to the bank, and it's thrashed out, but it's empty. Kate says now she has another reason to hate Christmas. And this is where it gets really dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
As if it wasn't already dark, it gets really dark.
It's like, haha, this is a friendly family movie, and then boom.
Yeah. She tells the story of how on Christmas Eve, her dad had tried surprising her and her mom by coming down the chimney, but had fallen inside and broke his neck. And they didn't find him until weeks later when they started to notice the smell when she was going to light a fire. Now, they had to cut him out.
They were like, I was expecting a cat or a bird, and pulled out my father.
This is my father. Now, how Billy didn't hear this if she had lived in this town, I don't quite know, because I feel like that would be something that everybody knows about the girl whose father died in her chimney. That's just me.
Maybe they kept it under wraps. Would you want the whole town knowing?
I don't think that there would be a way to keep that under wraps, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I can appreciate subplot, but man, this is dark.
This is not subplot.
So, yeah, having another reason to hate Christmas, I can appreciate it. So, Rand is driving back with Barney during all this, and Billy and Kate come out into the town, and it seems quiet. Everything is wrecked out, but it's quiet. They walk through town and find that all the gremlins have gathered at the movie theater where Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is showing.
Is this your favorite princess?
No.
Who's your favorite princess?
I guess Aurora. Sleeping Beauty. What did you want me to say? Not the fish girl.
That's so lame.
Who's yours? Ariel?
Belle.
Oh, Belle. I think that's your mother's as well.
I like that she reads.
Yeah, that's what she says. So they all sit waiting for the movie to start and actually get it going, get the projector going. It's the part where in Snow White where the dwarves are singing Hi Ho, and they all start to sing along as well. Hi-ho. Even Gizmo is singing it, which I thought was cute. Once again, I just want to say I love that they each have their own little personalities. Like the one that has the popcorn bags on its ears, and it's all.
Did you hear that when like Stripe got up and
the other one looked at him?
He was like, "Milk duds."
Milk duds.
They said milk duds.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe think of you, but
and one of them had they had the popcorn box on their head, like they were like hoodlums and everything. I'm like, the thought that had to go into one of these things is just fantastic. Man.
Yeah.
So Billy devises a plan to blow them up. So he and Kate go to the boiler room and set the gas to explode. During this time, the gremlins with the stripe went to get more yum-yums and milk duds. But it's empty in the front of the movie theater, so he sees that in the store across the street has candy. So he leaves to go get some from there. Billy and Kate start to escape, but the gremlins see them and start to chase after them. Luckily, they just make it out and lock the door beside. I have to say, when all the gremlins are running at the screen, the animation, the shadows and stuff like that, is actually kind of scary to me.
Yeah, I don't know why that wouldn't affect them, though. It was a bright screen.
Because it's a movie.
Movie magic.
Movie magic. That's the song. Well.
I know that song.
So as I said, Billy and Kate escape and do blow them up. So it's like, hooray, right? They're all dead. Well, no. Stripe is still alive in the department store and sees the explosion. So Billy and Kate give chase to catch and kill him as well. They search throughout the store while Stripe messes with them. Billy tells Kate to try and find the light switch, and she ends up turning on water. Billy is hunting Stripe around the store, popping up TV screens and saying his name. Like, he's like, Billy.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
He throws a salt blade at him, almost hitting him. I did like that Stripe was hiding in the stuffed animals behind the E.T. doll. It made me kind of like...
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, he's sitting there and he's looking through it, and he's like, a little E.T. doll is in front of him, and I was like, oh, it's like a throwback. For Critters is what it made me think of, because hey, what do you?
Yeah, I love that scene. I love that little movie.
I also like when he's riding the tricycle through the store. Like, I appreciate it.
Maybe think of The Shining.
Yeah. I just appreciate like when he was skateboarding, holding all the candy, and he's like, he's doing stuff, but he's also doing stuff.
Yeah, he's cool.
Stripe turns on a ball pitch machine, which strikes Billy, and then he shoots him with a crossbow.
Oh, yeah, he was killing Billy.
Yeah.
Billy was going to die for sure.
He then comes after him with a chainsaw, but Billy's able to fight him off. Meanwhile, Gizmo devises a plan for him of his own, involving the curtain and the sunlight. Kate finally turns on the lights, and it blinds up Stripe, who bangs his head on the wall because he gets dragged by the chainsaw on the ground.
Yeah.
Rand is coming back into town, and Barney runs into the department store finding Gizmo. Stripe finds the water fountain as well as a gun. He's like, a water gun.
Yeah, why would you have that in a kid's store?
It's a department store, so in that section...
but the candy, there were toys, and a gun?
In that department, yeah, and weapons, sure.
It's crazy.
He shoots at Billy a couple times and then puts his finger into the water to start to multiply. Gizmo uses a shovel as a ramp so that he can reach the curtains. He then hooks onto it and is able to get it to open. The sunlight hits Stripe, who starts to melt nastily. He falls into the water and looks to be dead. Billy wraps Gizmo in Rand's scarf and then goes to verify that Stripe is dead. Stripe's skeleton jumps out of the water for one more scare, but then melts into the floor.
Which soft bones. It was gross.
It just turned gooey.
It was gross, man.
It was gross. Yeah. Later that day, they're watching the news where all the destruction is being blamed on mass hysteria. Yeah. They're attending to Gizmo and are all going to give him some chicken soup, but the old man from the Chinese shop shows up to gather him. He puts Gizmo back into the box he came in and says that the Mogwai are much responsibility. So Peter Parker again.
Right.
He literally goes off on them and tells them they are not ready. He goes to leave, but Gizmo wants to say goodbye to Billy.
Which was cute, I think.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad that he was, like, taking him away. Like, after all of that, like,
right.
He'd fought so much to get him back, but, yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, he says, you know, one just has to hear, one just has to listen. And he goes, bye, Billy.
And then closed it on him. He didn't even let Billy say bye.
Shlump.
Yeah. Hush you.
Yep. Shh. I also like that he's like, oh, you taught him to watch television?
Yeah.
So the Chinese man says that perhaps one day Billy will be ready, but until then, the Mogwai will be waiting. The Chinese man leaves out carrying Gizmo in the box, and we get a voiceover from Rand, as we did at the beginning, basically saying that if things go wrong in your house, you might have gremlins. And that's pretty much how it ends. So, your overall thoughts on the movie?
This was a very interesting movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
That's awesome. How many, would you recommend it to a friend?
I would.
Yeah? Do you think it held up over this time?
I do.
84.
I think it was really good. I like when movies are funny, and it wasn't really scary, but it definitely was funny and cute.
Yeah. How many moos do you give it?
Give it a 4.5.
A 4.5?
Yeah.
Me too. I think it's up there for me, and it's not a 5, but it's a 4.5.
No, it didn't really pizzow me, but it definitely was.
I think it hits all of your check boxes.
There were some things that just didn't make sense to me. That was like,
yeah,
like with the dad and everything.
But I 100% appreciate the fact that right in the middle of a kids movie, supposedly, or almost kids movie, that they have the darkest backstory ever come out about Phoebe Cates' character.
Yeah. Yeah. Give her some personality.
Yeah. It explained a lot about her.
Yeah.
So,
favorite character? My
favorite character is, I had it and it just went out of my head.
You gonna say Stripe?
No, I was gonna say Mrs. Deagle.
Really?
Yeah. Deagle. Yeah,
she's your favorite?
She's my favorite character because she just does it for me, man. She's just so brutal. She's so Scrooge.
Well.
And yeah, I really like her. How about you?
Gizmo. I like Gizmo.
Do you?
I got a soft spot for the critters.
You do.
Least favorite character.
Least favorite character is Billy. 100% Billy because
unjustified.
I don't think so.
Mine's definitely the dad.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
probably for the same reason.
Loser.
Oh, he's just a loser.
I mean, why do you keep making things that don't work and then not going back and revisiting them, and you don't listen to your kid when he's coming at you? You keep interrupting him. You leave for long periods of time. You keep coming back and nobody wants you here anyway. It's just a crap character.
I got you.
Favorite scene?
Man, that's a hard question. I had one again and
mine's the bar scene.
That's it. I'm sorry. That's it. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love and the theater is a strong second.
Yes.
With
agreed.
The hi ho and then just there. I really appreciate. I mean, it's called Gremlins for a reason. You want to see Gremlins, and you get to see Gremlins in this movie, and they're not just all the same. The killer little.
Definitely different. Yeah.
You know, and they're smart. And they can read and they know how to do things. I mean, they're born with. I
like that when he went back into the water, it was not more of like Gizmo. It was more Gremlins.
Yeah,
like the green ones. That was cool to me.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I dig the movie, man. I think it does. It's just awesome.
Well, that's all for me.
Alrighty, I'll throw some trivia at you. So, in Cantonese, Mogwai means devil, demon, or gremlin. The Mandarin pronunciation is Mogwai. I don't know why. I don't know that I'm saying it any different than Mogwai. Mogwai. Magui. The set for Kingston Falls is the same one used for Back to the Future.
I've never seen that.
Yep. Both movies were filmed on the Universal Studio backlot. If you ever see Back to the Future, you'll notice that it's the same.
I'm sure we'll end up watching it.
Oh, yeah. The film was released on the same day as Ghostbusters in 1984.
Which one did better?
I believe that Gremlins ended up doing better. I think Ghostbusters at first, and then Gremlins just killed it. I believe that we looked at that. At least one of Phoebe Cates' screams in the scene at Dory's Tavern is genuine, as an enormous cockroach crawled out in front of her during the one take.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So she saw that thing and she was all, ah! So it was real. Zach Galligan recounted in an interview that when the movie was made, there was no CGI. So all the Gremlins were animatronic, each costing between $30,000 to $40,000. When everyone left the lot for the day, security would have everyone open their trunks of their cars to make sure they weren't stealing any. So, yeah.
Good reason.
I think so too. $30,000 to $40,000, yeah. An earlier attempt to have monkeys play Gremlins was abandoned because the test monkey panicked when it was wearing a gremlin head. I like the idea of that. That would be funny. Somebody's like, all right, put the monkey head on. Oh, no. That's not working at all. We're going to have to do animatronics.
Yeah.
This movie and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which came out in 1984 as well, are credited with inspiring the MPAA to create the PG-13 rating. Many felt that the movie was too violent for a PG rating, but not violent enough for an R rating. So they said, well, we'll make PG-13. What are you going to do? The Gizmo puppet was so well done that when Billy first opened the box, the dog thought it was a real creature and was truly startled. So the dog's growling was a genuine reaction. So
that's actually interesting.
Yeah.
That one's cool.
I like that. All right. So what else you got? Anything?
No, nothing else.
Very cool. All right, then. We're going to wrap this up tonight. I'd like to think... What?
Here's a good fact.
Go ahead.
Did you know that there's somewhere in the forest where there is this giant opening where all these cicadas came out? Like billions of cicadas. And they went up and we watched them go up into the trees and... it's like a feast for all the animals. It's got watching them get eaten by the turtles and such. And then all their carcasses were on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
It was very interesting.
Why do you tell me these things?
It's what I learned at school.
It's so disturbing. Either way, it's so disturbing. Yeah. So how about some reviews before we go out? We did get a whole bunch of reviews and I just want to throw some. James Smith 663 said, this is a very yummy podcast. Gave us 5 stars. Thank you for that. Lillian Dunn, great insight, feedback, energy, and I enjoy how y'all talk. Love it. Thank you very much. Richard Perez, started well. I really enjoyed the discussion in the last few episodes. Overall good. Thank you very much. Gail Sharp said it's a nice find, a great podcast from insightful hosts. Thank you. Appreciate that. Joseph Taylor said amazing details. Such a nice podcast not now because I messed it up. Such a nice podcast with its best sound quality and hosting. Diva Diana says, Merry Christmas. I love listening to your podcast while at work. You both make me laugh. It's definitely something we can all use right now. I would love to hear you do a Christmas movie. 'Tis the season. Well, guess what? You got a couple.
You got Gremlins.
So those are all the reviews that we got recently, which is so awesome that so many people took the time to give us a review and to write that in.
Really helps out.
Yeah, and when you love us and you want to do that for us, we appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you for your time. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up tonight. I do want to thank everyone for stopping by and listening to our 35th episode. We do deeply appreciate it more than you could imagine. Of course, best way to show us your love is do as these people do a 5-star review. Show us, show us you love us with that way. You can email us at the yesyourpodcast@gmail.com. Twitter is twitter.com/yesyourpcast. Instagram.com/yesyourpodcast. Facebook.com/yesyourpodcast. Our Truffle Shufflers group is our Facebook group. It's private. It is a secret question is the host names, which is James and Beth. Our website, which you can link to everything you need to, everything I've talked to. I almost just want to say, you know what, go to our website and you can link to any of the Instagram, Twitter, and any of that stuff. Is the yesyourpodcast.com. You can get some awesome merch on there if you want to do that. And we do have our Patreon, which is patreon.com/the nostalgia group. If you would like to support us that way, we have some awesome episodes on there. A shout out to Greg Revan for doing our intro and outro. And as always, we do say love you and we say good night, Beth.
Good night, everyone.
You've been listening to a Fourth Hand Joint.